Hi, it's Michael. As a side note, look at it. Look at the snowscape and icescape. It's almost the end of March, 1 week before Easter, and there is still snow and some ice, and the temperatures are actually quite below the freezing mark, even though the sun makes it feel warmer. And for here, around southern Ontario in Canada, this is not that common. It's fairly unusual. It shouldn't last. But anyway, now to the main topic of fighting the good fight, to fight of all fighting. The human mind is very funny. It loves to fight. It feeds on fighting. Fighting diseases, fighting poverty, fighting hunger, fighting injustice, fighting this and that, left and right. It feeds on it. And of course, it is all BS, it is all falsity, and it has no true reality in existence in the true self. And if your intention is to transcend this world, to evolve spiritually, and that you're here for that, then it is necessary to drop this fighting and to transcend it. The biggest threat to the mind is peace, and so the mind thrives on contrasty situation, on conflicts, whether it's fighting, and fighting doesn't have to be physical, it can be emotional or fantasies, daydreams or whatever. It's still fighting. And when the mind runs out of physical things to fight, then it even recreates battles. Can you imagine the stupidity of recreating battles in peace? Some people are so bored with peace, they love to recreate battles. Another way of fighting is computer games that use violence, and it doesn't have to be shooting, it can be car chases, that's violence as well, or action adventure movies and films and TV shows, that's also fighting and contrasty situations. So there are zillions of ways the mind creates contrasty situations, whether actuals or pretended, and it's all the same because it binds you to the mind. You are not the mind, as it is said, and as it becomes obvious once you start meditating, you are not the mind, you are the presence that observes the mind and that can get entangled in the mind. It can get entrained and hypnotized by it, but you are not it, you are the presence beyond the mind, behind, so to speak, symbolically speaking, behind the mind, in the background. And as it is said, the presence is actually the so-called true self, self with capital S, that is the essence of all life, and that is peace and love, and that is your true home, your true being. And you don't have to feel guilty and ashamed of entertaining all these violent scenarios, whether fantasies or actual physical. It's part of the human condition, it's part of the mind. Just being aware that that exists, and when it comes up in your mind, ignoring it, letting it go, surrendering it to existence, letting go of it constantly. A violent thought or a violent impulse comes to the mind, which happens to everybody from time to time, to some people maybe all the time, then just ignore it, let go of it. As if you're observing a TV show you have no interest in, and ask existence, the true self, for help in in dissolving, transcending the mind, again, letting go of all these entertainments of contrasty situations of violence is vital to transcend this world, to move beyond this world to higher realms, to higher dimensions, as it is said by enlightened teachers and true high-level spiritual texts such as the Upanishads, the Gita, and so on. And please also remember there are some things that make it much harder to let go of these mind processes, and that actually bind you to the mind, that makes it easier to be entrained by the mind and by all the violence, and that is toxins, alcohol, drugs, smoking, even stuff like coffee, that all makes it more challenging to let go of the mind. And of course, through healthcare such as chiropractic, neuro-emotional technique, and ET, and naturopathic, they all aid in being healthier, being more relaxed, and thus being more aware, and thus being able to surrender the mind more easily. All very important. But of course, if you wish to continue coming to this earth and incarnating endlessly over and over, that's your choice, you can. So it's up to you. So that's it for this talk. If there are any questions or comments, they can be left below the video. And wishing you a healthy and joyful life, Michael out.